Welcome to the channel. This is the third video of the purchasing module, and today I'm gonna discuss about the purchase request and the purchase quotation. Purchase request is also called the purchase requisition, and I know like there are direct two ways to create the purchase. One way to create the purchase quotation or the request one by one, but there are several ways to create the same documents, and I'm gonna discuss that briefly. And also I'm gonna talk about the importance of those documents. So I hope at the end you will be able to create the purchase request and the purchase quotation in the SAP Business One. So without wasting any further time, let's discuss about a business scenario that whenever the company is run out of some items in their warehouse or the inventory, then they go to the purchase department and raise a purchase request to the department. Then the purchase department will review the request and analyze the requirement, and then it will create the quotation for buying the items from the vendor. But in the whole process, the purchasing department is also responsible to find the better price of that particular document for that particular item. And that's why the purchase quotation is one of the important document in the purchasing module to grab the perfect price from the particular vendor. In order to do that, purchasing department employees need to generate the several quotation, not one, but creating one by one. Though for the multiple vendor, the same quote would be really hectic. So there is another way to creating the multiple quotation is called the purchase quotation wizard. And with this wizard, you can create the multiple purchase quotation for the different vendors at the same time. I'm gonna show you in a minute, right? So as we already know, the basic fundamental process of the purchase module is like purchase request, which leads to the quotation, which leads to the order, and then it's good receipt, AP, and outgoing payment, right? This is the whole process. Then the purchase request is generally the document generated just as a notification that we have to purchase some items, and these items are necessary for the ongoing process in the company, right? The document itself, if we open the document, then the document itself in the purchase request, it contains when the document is required, right? So it shows the validity of the document, like since till when the document we need the items from, and here we can add how many items we need and from which vendor we need, and what would be the required date, quantity, and the information of the price from our side that we need from that vendor, right? Then what happened is the purchase quotation is also contain the approval process, right? Through authorization process, and using the authorization, it basically help to reduce the error, and the purchase department will be safe that okay, they created the document based on the approval from some manager, so the purchase is valid. Like for example, there is one scenario that could come up in the mind, like what if we need the approval process, so that you are a guy who is working for the purchase department, and but before or making any purchase request, you need some kind of approval from your supervisor in order to create the let's say request, right? So for that we have to first enable the approval process. So you go to the BP tab into the general setting, right, and enable the approval process, right, in here. Then you go to the service so that you can get the message, like I set it to 0, so like my service will gonna fetch the messages or the notification from the SAP Business One service in every, let's say, second, like in every minute. Right now I put it in 0, so I'm gonna just get notified the same time when something will created, right? Now the second part of this is creating one approval process. So for the approval process, we have to firstly create a stage. So for example, I'm considering only one approval is required for that, and only one rejection is also required. You can add up multiple. If you have working with the multiple managers, then you can add the multiple managers, or how depend on like how many approvals you need. You can set it up here. Right now I make myself as an authorizer, right, for this stage. Now you can go to the template, and in the template basically you can give any name as per your convenience. Then who gonna be originator of the document, or who can create those documents. Again, you can create multiple originator. All right, if you're in the department, you have multiple people and they can create the documents. So you can add all the users in here. I am assigning myself right now because I wanna see the I wanna create and approve both. And now I'm assigned the internal requisition. It means like purchase request, like coming from the other department to your purchasing department. And I'm selecting this document. Now in this stage, you select the same stage that we have created, right? And when you save it, then your approval process is you have to be make sure that your approval template is active. So like we have to activate our approval template by here, right? Now for example, if you go to the purchase request and try to create using your own manager user, because we assign this user as our originator of this document. And then for example, if you try to create one for 28th, you have to give the date of 28th as well. You can basically give the date once, and then it will get copied in on the lines when you will add here, right? Let's say your required quantity is 12 now with the same item. So when you add it, you will see a pop-up of the approval, and you can say, hello, please verify my request, right, to your manager. This message was sent out. Now if you see the message, sorry, this was not the document, so you cannot see the document as long unless it's not approved, right? So we already sent out that document, and now we can just wait. Sorry, my mistake. So as you can see, we just received an approval notification in our alert box. You can see the draft document number 3, right? If you want to open the document by here, you can just open the document. Draft number is 3, right? This is the document which is pending right now because the manager haven't approved it, right? And it's draft, that's why. And then you can make your decision. The manager can make the decision of pending, approval, or reject. Let's say here I'm gonna approve it, so you're gonna say everything looks fine for me, and go ahead. And then you updated it. Now once you update it, then you will receive a message again for the so as you can see right now it's pending, but when you open this document again, now it's approved. And now you but the status is draft right now, but it's in the approved one, right? So now you can basically add this document, and now that document is added, right? And this one is approved document, and now you can copy it to the quotation or the purchase order, depends. The main benefit of this is like whatever the order you had made is basically approved from your supervisors, so there is no error, and no one gonna come and blame to you that okay, you did the mistake while ordering something, because it's already approved from their side. So that's one of the best thing about the approval process in the purchase request. So once your purchase request is approved from your supervisor, right, or you get all the purchase request, now you are in the purchase department and you have to send out the multiple quotations to the vendor, right? So for that, let's create another purchase request, right, for the different vendor. Let's say now this time this vendor, we need the quantity on 28th for 15, right? And I'm gonna do that 28 as well. I said yes, create it, blah blah blah. Okay, this document you already said that. This one I did the approved. Okay, done. You said done. You save it. You get another notification. You added that document, right? And now you can see we have the two purchase requests from the different vendors for the same item. Now if you go to the purchase quotation wizard, right? So you go to the next, select one or create your own existing parameter. You can just create one, it's not a biggie. Then you can go next, and now you can see the two different now you can see the item master data item number. So now when you created all the multiple purchase requests, now if you go to the purchase request report, right, and you hit play, then you will see the different items, right, and the multiple purchase requests with the different numbers. Now here you can just simply select the vendor, for which vendor you want to send. Like let's say I want to send this one to this one, I want to send this one to this one, this one to this one, right? And then you just hit create the purchase quotation, right? And it's written that the purchase quotation is created, right? So now if you go there into the purchase quotation document number 6, you will see you have created one for this item, right? So for this vendor we are sending only this item, but for this vendor we are sending these two items in the different quantities. So the two purchase quotation was already created using the purchase request report, right? There is another way to create the purchase quotation for the different vendor with the different item. Let's say I want to create the purchase quotation. You can give anything here, and you say based on the items, right? You need the item on 31st, and it should valid till 31st too. And you selected these three items, right? These two items with a quantity of 10 and 5. In 5, right? And you say next. Then you can select the multiple vendor for this. Let's say I'm gonna say 7002 this guy, and 7003 this guy. I'm gonna say yes, and it will say if there is any error, then you should go for the next, and then your wizard will run. You see that there's two purchase order created, one for this vendor and one for this vendor, and both purchase quotations are in the open position. Now you can add your quantity, the price and all, and you can send it to the and you can just send the purchase quotation to them, and then your vendor will add the quantity the price from their side, and you will get the final code. So when you receive the response from the different vendors regarding your purchase quotation, so based on by comparing all the purchase quotations responses, you finalize the best one, and then you proceed for the purchase order. So for example, let's say uh, you already like this one, so you wanna just create the order, and you said okay, I'm gonna take this with the unit price, and you just added this document, and the purchase order get created, right? And this document I'm gonna get closed, and the purchase order will be open, and then the whole process will be continue on the purchase order, good receipt PO and AP invoice, including yeah, okay. So that's how it works. So there is another thing that I want to mention is, like for example, if you're ordering this item, then in this item you can specify your preferred vendor under the purchase. And for example, I like this. And then if you don't get from that vendor, then you can add the different vendor, right? From here, you can add the multiple vendors, and these vendor will be pop up automatically in the quotation generation wizard when chooses those vendor to create the quotation, right? When you open this purchase quotation wizard now, right? So if you open the wizard, let's say for the new parameter, anything based on the item, said okay, came me on 29th, select that particular item. I guess this one, right? If you go to next, yeah, obviously you have to update the item. My bad. You have to come back. Now you go back, and these vendors is automatically get selected into your purchase quotation wizard, right? So this is another way to automatize your process, so that you don't need to add the vendor even at the end. So this was the whole introduction of the purchase order and purchase quotation, including the approval process in the document. I hope you like the video. If you have any question, please feel free to drop by. Thank you so much. It's the tune.